dark and darker cleric spells, perks, and skills. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Alright, Cleric is insanely fun. I just leveled up my Cleric today for this playtest, and it was an absolute blast. If you haven't done so already, I highly suggest you do so, because it's a lot of fun. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of the skills and abilities, perks, and spells that the Cleric has. So, first things first, we're going to go over Advanced Healer. It increases your magical heal by 5. It's a pretty good perk. You can see it right there. Pretty good perk. I like this one. The next one we cover is Blunt Weapon Mastery. Pretty simple one. It increases your physical attack power by 5% when attacking with a blunt weapon. That's a really good one. The next one we cover is Kindness. Kindness heals yourself for 15% of the spell's total heal amount when healing another target. I kind of like Kindness. It works out really well, especially if you're playing with a group of 2 or 3 people. Kindness is pretty good. You can also use this as a solo if you heal someone else or something, you know. The next one we will go over is Protection from Evil. Protection from Evil is pretty simple. The duration of all harmful effects is reduced by 20%. And we will go over Brewmaster is the next one we'll cover. You do not exhibit the detrimental drunk effects when you drink alcohol. Brewmaster really isn't too good of a one. I almost never pick up Brewmaster. There is a couple potions that you can get inside of the Tavern Master. It gives you additional strength. I never really picked that up. I probably should utilize that a little bit more because that 13 strength is quite useful. So I mean, if you're going to be fighting PvP, you might want to pick up Brewmaster so you do a little bit more damage, pop some of the alcohol, and you'll do a lot more damage. I'll have to test that out and see how it works out well later. The next one we'll cover is Perseverance. Perseverance is pretty good. Reduces all incoming damage by 3, so that just covers everything. The next one we go over is Requiem. Requiem I almost never pick up. It's pretty good though. What it does is when you resurrect your teammate, it doesn't you don't lose any health. But you know, it's good, but I don't ever pick it up. You know, I wish it was a little, I don't know. I don't ever get this one. I don't pick this up. So yeah, you probably won't ever get this one. And the last but not the least that we will cover is Undead Slaying. Undead Slaying increases your physical damage bonus by 20% when attacking undead mobs. So that is all the perks. Pretty easy. And the next thing we'll go over is the skills. Skills are pretty good. There's pretty much going to be one skill you always use. You're going to always use either the skill 1 or 2, whatever one you want to use. I usually have mine on 2, so I just leave this here. So you're pretty much going to always pick up your spell memory 2. And then we will cover the other skills, next, which is Holy Purification. Holy Purification is a really, really good skill. I like this one. I get this all the time. You can see what it does here. Typically what I like to do when I pick this up is I like to aggro a bunch of mobs together, group them up, and then pop my Holy Purification, and I do a bunch of AoE damage to all of them. Really, really good spell. I like this. Okay, and then we have Judgement. Judgment, after focusing for 0.5 seconds immediately after, deals 30 magic damage to target and reduces their movement speed by 20% for 2 seconds. The spell can only be cast within, you gotta have your crosshair on it. It's kind of a weird one. I'll show an example right here so you can see what I'm talking about. See? Once the Judgment starts casting, you will no longer need to continue targeting the crosshair. If the target goes out of the range during the casting fails. Judgment's okay. I don't really get Judgment, you know, because usually you only can pick up one skill, because you almost always get one of your spell memories. So I don't get Judgment too much. You probably won't get that. Smite is the next one we'll go over. Deals an additional 10 magic damage to all enemies you hit within 7 seconds. Smite is pretty good. I mean, I don't get Smite, again, the same token as this. I usually get Purification. And we will go over Spell Memory 2. Now, spell memory 2 is kind of useless right now because there's not enough like spells for the cleric. You'd only be able to pick up 3 more spells if you picked up the spell memory 2. And the issue is you can still only have as many spells as you're allowed, you know, so you'd have to increase your knowledge so you could be able to take more stuff. So that one's kind of like a dead perk for the cleric right now. So other than that, that's pretty much all the skills and the perks. We're gonna go right into the spells and show you what they do, how they work, and yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first is we're gonna cover the tier 1s and then go tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and such and such. So tier 1, we have protection. Protection's pretty simple. It puts a barrier around you and protects you from 20 physical damage for 20 seconds. I use this a lot, especially when I PvP, PvE. You can see in the clip. Yeah, protection. It does pretty good. Typically what smart people do is when you pop your protection, they'll try to back off and wait till that wears off because it's actually pretty useful. And then we will go over Bless. Bless is actually a fairly good spell. I love this. What the Bless does is it gives you 3 strength, 3 agility, and will attributes for 30 seconds. Cast to self if no target is found. So if you want to put it on an ally, put it on yourself, you can do either of the such. Bless is a really good one. Typically what I do is I pop my Bless and then I will pop the next skill that I'm going to cover, which is Divine Strike. Divine Strike is really good. It increases your weapon damage by 10 for 20 seconds. So typically what I will do is I'll pop my I'll pop my Bless first, and then I'll do my Divine Strike, and then I'll start to try to fight. And if I have enough time, I'll try to put my protection in too. These are my 3 ones I'm trying to use when I'm fighting or doing something. And the reason I try to do my Bless first is because this is 30 seconds and this is 20 seconds. So then that way I can get like the most benefit out of both of them. You know, that makes sense? And then we will go over Cleanse. Cleanse is fairly useful. It removes all harmful magic effects from a target. So if you're fighting a lot of mobs and you're getting slowed, or you're fighting PvP and you got rogues that are bleeding you, or if you got ruptures, whatever the case may be, you can remove these side effects from the target with this spell, Cleanse. It's pretty easy. I'll show you what it looks like here. It's gonna be hard for me to try to get a Cleanse up and close because I'm usually solo. So yeah, but Cleanse, pretty cool, pretty good spell. And then we will go over Blind. Blind is pretty good. Sorry, Bind, not Blind, Bind. Bind is pretty good. Bind is like a stun. It disables the target for 0.75 seconds. So it's fairly useful. Especially if you're solo, you know, it can be useful. You're getting chased by 3 people. You can quickly bind your target and escape and get through the door, close the door, and run away. So Bind is actually a pretty good spell. It's only a tier 3, so it only costs 3. So it's actually pretty good. I haven't used this a lot myself because there's a lot of good spells inside of the cleric that you can pick up. But Bind is definitely pretty good. The next one we'll go over is Lesser Heal. Lesser Heal, you can target a person or yourself and it heals you for 15 health. Pretty good spell. I always have this on my hotbar when I go in the dungeon. And the last but not least we will cover is Resurrection. Now Resurrection, I don't pick this one up that much because as you guys all know, I'm solo most of the time. But Resurrection is pretty good. It costs 8, so a lot of times I don't get this because it costs so much. It's really expensive to pick Resurrection up. So, without further ado, what perks, skills, and stuff do I run when I go in the dungeon? So, first things first, what do I get? I get Advanced Healer. That's one of the first things I always pick up because Advanced Healer increases your magic heal by 5. I'm solo, I can heal myself more. That's a win in my book. And there's a couple perks here that I don't really like and I never get. So yeah, I get that. The next one I pick up is Blunt Weapon Mastery. Blunt Weapon Mastery, as I told you before, is really good. I get that. And then I pick up Undead Slaying because I like to kill the mobs really quickly. And then this one right here, you can swap back and forth. You can sometimes pick up a Brewmaster if you like. You can pick up a Kindness, or you can pick up like a Perseverance, or even a Protection from Evil if you like. I typically will pick up either like a Kindness or a Perseverance, because with the Kindness you can heal someone else and still get healed, you know. And then my skills, I will pick up your Spell Memory 2, and then I always pick up my Holy Purification. Now onto my spells. What spells do I get? I get Protection, and then I get Bless, I get Divine Strike, I get Holy Light, and then I pick up Lesser Heal. So those are the spells I pick up when I'm solo. It works out fairly well. I'm pretty sure you can use this build for like duos, trios. It should work out pretty good. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. It means so much.